Okay. All right. All right. Welcome to another edition of DMV Sports Show. I'm your host, Rason McGee. It's Saturday. That's right. It's Saturday to hear the sports that you want to hear on your weekend. I'm Rason McGee. As I stated before, we got a story in line that you wouldn't believe. We're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about the Washington Commanders. We're going to talk about the Washington Commanders and who they're going to select as their coach and defensive head coach. We're going to also talk about a whole range of things. We're going to talk about the Washington Capitals, the Washington DC United, the Washington Wizards, and Baltimore Orioles. So sit back, relax, and let your feet flow. It's Saturday, don't you know? So with that being said, let's get the show started. We have an unavailable here. Hello? You're on the air.
Hello?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, my son? This is Big Steve.
Big Steve, it says that you're unavailable, man. What's going on?
It do?
Yeah, man.
I shouldn't be.
I don't know what's going on, but you know what, Big Steve? I'm glad that you're here, man, because we got something I want to say before we start. I was right. I was right about the NFC East teams, Dallas Cowboy and the Eagles. And there was a lot of Eagle fans, a lot of Cowboy fans that were on my case, bro. I tell you what, they were both saying, oh, you're a hater. You know, just because your team didn't make it to the playoffs, you want to sit there and make some outlandish claim about my team. And I'm like, listen, the stats don't lie. Oh, you're a statistics guy. No wonder you're gonna sit there and talk bad about my team. Well, you know what? We're gonna win. We're going to win. And I said, mark my words. Those words that you just said to me just proves you don't know nothing about your team and the stats. And sure enough, let's go to the Cowboys. Let's go to the Cowboys because I want to sit there and I want to dive right into the Cowboys. I was right about the Cowboys. What they did was very, very problematic. I sat there and listened to almost every Cowboy fan on YouTube stating that, you know, they were shocked. And then at the end, they were like, Dak, it's your fault, Dak. Dak, you kept throwing that interception. Dak, it's your fault. But they forget, football is 3 phases of the game. Your defense wasn't doing anything either. What happened to Parsons? What happened to Bland? See, that's my problem with the Cowboys. They're so delusional. I tried to be nice. I tried to be respectful. But more fans that I talk to are delusional. It's just that simple. They're delusional. And I sit there and I said, they believe that they're going to win. Why is this such a bad team? They're just so desperate for glory, Big Steve. They're so desperate for glory that they'll sit there and sacrifice everything else just to have that 5 championship winning streak back. Well, it's not going to happen because of your statistics in the playoffs. You haven't won since 1995. 95. And it's 2024. Brand new year. And you sitting here telling me that we're the cause of you losing? Wow. That's horrible. Well, no, it isn't, because it's your team. But here's what I'm going to say. I predicted that if they don't run the ball, they're not going to win. They run the ball 10%. 10% of that game against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay came in there and said they didn't do nothing. And what was funny, Big Steve? Guess what the defense of the Dallas Cowboys ran?
What?
The cover zero. The zero blitz.
Yeah. Yeah.
The zero blitz.
They had their own game.
Against them.
Like I told my Cowboy fans that every year they had a 12-game win streak, a 13-game. They had 12 wins one year, 13 games another year, and then this year 12 games, and they lost them all at home.
At home. But see, here's the thing, Big Steve. They actually have a winning percentage in the NFL at home. On the road, they're horrible.
They were undefeated at home.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then on the road, there's some crap. But here's the thing. The Green Bay Packers proved that they're crap at home too. Because what they ran was a zero blitz. And they went, then they went zone. Now, I said this on the show, that zone is not really a good cover scheme for any defense, because zone only allows you a certain amount of a coverage. Now, the only time you run zone is when you start, running the football, or it's for tight ends. The zone is only for tight ends. Wide receivers, not so much, because wide receivers can actually break zone and get the extra, 16, 15 yards down the field. But you only run zone for tight ends or fullbacks or running backs. But you do not, and I repeat, you do not use it constantly. That's what other teams have figured out, like the Steelers. That's how the Steelers got into the playoffs, by not running too much zone. It's like basketball. When you run a 2-3-man zone, you're mirroring the ball movement. But when you put zone in the football, you're actually trying to stop a wide receiver from breaking out into a first down. And it's not common sense, folks. And that's what happened with Dallas. Dallas ran too much of the zone and cover zero to see if they can just blitz the crap out of Jordan Love. Jordan Love was smart. He said, listen, this is how I'm going to do it. You can't catch me. I'm going to bootleg. And if you hit me, it's 15 yards. He ran bootleg all night. Bootleg. Threw it down. His tight end was wide open. His wide receiver was open. They ran the football. They did everything correct. And it brings me back to the Eagles. The Eagles, I knew the Eagles were going to lose, because Baker Mayfield wanted to show that he was capable of winning the playoff game. And where did else be able to do it? Tampa. He was perfect. He demolished. Not only that, the defense of Tampa demolished the whole entire team. 9 points. The Eagles had no answer. No answer whatsoever. And when I say this, Big Steve, I say this,
right.
I was 100% right. And to my credit, I didn't think the Buccaneers was going to put up 32. My initial thing was 27-3. They actually gave themselves a boost, 32-9. As for the Cowboys, I don't want to go into the Eagles just yet, but I'm gonna talk about the Eagles fan base. But the Cowboy fan base went wild, throwing away Dak Prescott gear, throwing Cowboy gear. Even the host of the celebrities who are Cowboy fans threw away, Cowboy memorabilia. Let's also come out when everybody says that they were listening to Jerry Jones' press conference, how he was disappointed for everybody. And then what you do on national television, you go out and you secure Mike McCarthy's job. And everybody was like, yeah. And I'm like, whoa. So you secure his job. Why? Why did you secure his job? It's not my problem. I mean, I'm not a Cowboy fan, but you saw what he's capable of doing. You know? And now you have this whole community of people saying that if we don't win, we're trashing your team. That doesn't make sense. What do you think? What do you think, Steve?
You know what? Cowboys suck. Eagles suck. We waiting on Ben Johnson. That's automatic. We waiting on Ben Johnson.
Let's dive into that. Let's dive in. Now, my thing about Ben Johnson is his first time year being a Lions OC, right?
Second year.
Second year being OC. We don't know anything about Ben Johnson. We don't know what his style is. We don't know what type of, offense he's going to bring. We don't know what type of defensive coordinator he wants. And it's kind of a big problem with me, because remember, we don't know nothing about these players.
Well, I know a lot about Ben Johnson. I also know about their defensive coordinator for Detroit too. They may want to. The word on the street is that they may want to hire both the offensive coordinator for the coach and the defensive coordinator for the defensive coordinator and the assistant coach. And there's been a rumor that they may try to get Kirk Cousins as their quarterback. No.
I will protest. I will go to Ashburn myself and throw myself onto the steps. They better not bring Kirk Cousins back, because Kirk Cousins. No.
For the Chiefs, because Minnesota is going a different way with their quarterback.
Well. Hold on. I thought we got another caller by the name of Coach. How you doing, Coach?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I was just talking about Big Steve about how I was right about the two NFC East teams that went kaput in their playoffs games. And most likely, you already know. I already said it. And Steve, I know I already said it. I knew Dallas was going to lose because they're 2-4 in the playoffs. And they're 1-3 against 1-3 in the playoffs with Mike McCarthy. I also told everybody that Baker Mayfield has a statement to make, and he's going to make it against the Eagles. And sure enough, I don't mean to boast my ideas, but I was right basically on both of those two. And then I had it with the Eagle fan. I had it with most of the Eagle fans and the Dallas Cowboy fans. And the Dallas Cowboy fans kept calling me delusional. I'm like, listen, I invented that word for you guys. And then sure enough, guess what happened? Stephen A. Smith.
They took them apart.
They actually, Dallas killed themselves by running cover zero and bootleg. Cover zero and cover zero zone. Excuse me, zone and cover zero. Mm-hmm. Those two were the worst potential thing you can do against Green Bay, especially a young team that found their voice or found their niche of what they're capable of doing. It's like LaFleur actually said, listen, if we bootleg, they can't stop us, especially with Jordan Love's arm and the running back and the tight end. We will win this game. And sure enough, that's what happened. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
And then not only that, Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came in and said, hey, listen, we still have that Tampa 2 that everybody's talking about. And we still have that offensive weapon in my arm. So don't count us out. And sure enough, they said it and they did it and they won. And this is 571.
Yeah, I knew the Packers were going to win.
571-606-6234. Say your name for the record. How you doing?
Hey, what's on with Marianne?
How you doing, Marion? Welcome. How you feeling?
Good. I see that it's a tie with the Ravens.
Yes.
I saw the game.
Yes. The Ravens and the Texans. That's tomorrow.
Yeah. That's today.
It's today?
Now. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right now.
Well, let me see. Wow. I got my days. Okay. Well, Miriam is a Ravens fan, and she is rooting for the Ravens. So, what do you think the score is going to be?
That's right.
What do you think the score is going to be?
I think that the Ravens are going to win.
Ah, nice. I think the Ravens and Texans are going to have a battle. I think
they're battling it out.
I think it's going to be a little bit off a high game. I think it's going to be in the early 30s. I think the Ravens going to pull out a kick at 33-30. I think they're going to. Yeah, I think so.
It might be in the 20s, high 20s maybe.
That's a possibility. I take
Just
that.
Depends on how each team adjusted during halftime. I'm going to see how this coach, if the Texans are going to, overcome.
Well, right now, I'm looking at it as we speak. It's in the third quarter, actually. Wow.
Yeah, they just started.
Wow, that is something. So let's go ahead and talk about the games that's coming up right now. We're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers 49ers game and the Lions and Buccaneers. So what do you think?
There was a lot of plays that were close to being something big, but they forced the punt.
My bad.
Here's Sims.
My bad. Watching that myself, folks. I apologize for that. But let's go ahead and talk about the games coming up. Green Bay Packers 49ers game. Who do you have winning and going on to the the Super Bowl? Do you think the 49ers will pull it out and then go to the Super Bowl? Or do you think it was the Green Bay Packers?
It depends on which one has the most part to get it,
Right.
I mean, that is right on.
Well, you see, here's the thing about that. Green Bay has now shown they are capable of taking out a juggernaut. They took out a juggernaut in their own stadium. Yeah. And they made a statement on live television saying that, hey, listen, Dallas who? They stood on the star, dropped the ball, disrespected the whole entire team. I stated, if the Green Bay Packers win next year during the regular season schedule, they will probably open up against the Cowboys. I still stand by that statement. Huh?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you see how angry the owner was?
Oh, yeah, he threw his paper down.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it was so funny. I was laughing. When they won, he literally turned to the side and threw his paper down. I was looking at the whole press box. Everybody's mouths were wide open.
Yeah.
I looked at the players on the sidelines. They looked at each other and was like, hey, what you doing this offseason? I was reading their list. I'm like, dang, man, you really talking about us?
Really down. I mean, I felt sorry for them. I really did.
Well, I
I
mean,
was like, and especially when the commentator says, well, we got to start out with a new coach, a new GM. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
they were talking about
Yeah.
86 and Mike McCarthy and Dak together. But then
Ooh.
you know what's happening right now. They're going to evaluate Dak. Now, here's the funny thing about experienced veterans. Dak is still in his prime. He can go to any team and excel in a better system. Yes, he could throw interceptions. Yes, he can lose a game. But he's been to the playoffs several times. He can do whatever in this league. He can go to the AFC and battle with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have to stay in the NFC. He can go to the Patriots, and the Patriots can go back to being in the promise, the team of the previous year, winning another championship. See, here's the funny thing about the NFL: you trash one player, the other player can continue his legacy on. But in this case, as for us, the Commanders, the thing about us is that we've been giving away our players for years.
Yeah.
That's our culture. And I hate saying that, but it's the truth.
Why I've been so
Exactly.
like re-freaking-filled every freaking year. And they're saying this year, and I'm like, excuse me, new coach, new GM, you've already given away the best two defensive players. You're going to be rebuilding.
Yes.
Open your eyes.
Yes. And Big Steve was just talking about Ben Johnson. I want to get your take on it too. Hold on. Well, we got another caller by the name of, he is the Hands co-host, Hands Sports Show co-host, Louis Tenor. How you doing, Lou?
All right, Rasul, thanks.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming in. So let's go ahead, because we were just talking about it. I just got to get your thoughts on it. Remember I told you last week before the game what was going to happen?
Yes, you did. You did.
And did it? And it transpired, didn't it?
Unfortunately, yes.
So what did you feel when you saw the Green Bay Packers drive down the field inadvertently, untouched for 30 minutes in those two halves, first and second quarter?
Too busy throwing up. What else?
I don't blame you. I don't blame you because I was looking to the stands and the Cowboy fans were like in shock and awe. Like they just had a aneurysm live on television. It was just really bad. And what I know it sounds painful, but that's what most of them were looking like. Especially the lady in the top row in the back when around the 50. If you go look at the highlights, check out the stands, third row, top row. She was just, her finger was like she was like she had a light bulb on the side of her head. Like, I just remember something, right? Type of look on her face. And I'm like, listen, this is bad. You got this lady froze on national TV with her finger up. Like she's like Einstein's cousin or something. But it was that bad, man. And then it was the other guy. There was one lady on the 50, diehard Cowboy fan, leaning over the railing, yelling at the players like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
You shouldn't do that.
Well, hey, listen, there's so many fans out there who are diehard fans, would do anything just to get the players to get motivated. But see, it's not the fans' responsibility to motivate the players. It's the coaches. They getting paid billions of dollars to coach this team. If you can't get your team players to motivate, then that's it. That's game. You might as well just find out what you're having on lunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with here's the thing for the Cowboys, right?
Mm-hmm.
They going into cap hell next year because that is going to ask for a new contract. Okay. My man, number 11,
yeah,
is going for a new cap cap thing next year.
Right.
They're gonna need linebackers.
They're gonna need everything. They're gonna need
Yeah,
defensive end. They're gonna need tight end.
Don't forget, don't forget number 88.
Yeah.
They gonna want some money next year.
Oh yeah. Here's
they're gonna give it a Gallup, because Gallup will make more than $18.7 million next year.
100%.
More than that.
100%. They're letting go of Galloway. That's it. Galloway is not staying.
Gallup. Yeah, they're gonna give it a Gallup next year.
Yeah, Gallup is gone. Gallup's gone. He's not gonna stay.
So Dak is gonna want a contract more than $140 million next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. Taylor, what's his name? The dude, the offensive lineman, he's gone. Taylor Smith, he's gone. He's definitely gone. He's not the center. The center is gone. The left tackle is gone. The running back, the running back Pollard, he's going to be there. Dak is probably gone. He's not going to stay there. They're going to probably trade him. They're going to probably go with Trey Lance because they got him from the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, that's what they got him.
They are going to get rid of the tight end Ferguson. Ferguson is not going to stay either. They're gonna probably release him, and they're just going to have a whole revamp of the whole entire team. And that's unfortunate because now the certainty of this Cowboy team is resting on his shoulders. Now let's go over to the other NFC East team, the Eagles. Now the Eagles have just Kelsey just announced his retirement. He's gone. He's not coming back.
Yeah, I hated that.
Jason Peters is also saying he's calling it quits. So Peters, who is former Eagle, is now calling it quits as well. There's no reason. I think Godats is probably going to get traded because they don't really have anybody other than Johnson. No, what's his name? Is it Johnson? No, what's that guy's name? Brown wide receiver. They're going to keep Brown because Brown is in his second year, third year with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is not himself. He hurt his finger, so therefore there is a it's a problem thing. It's a mental thing for him, not to have his hand 100% healed. There's so many things I can say about this team. They're not too certain about the head coach of the Eagles. I think Big Steve's left. He's gonna come back. But they're even the Giants. The Giants are uncertain about their head coach, but they're gonna keep Saquon. So there's so many things there's
so many teams that are being redone.
Well, I mean, that's because the organization sees that. Well, here's the thing. The pressure. Let me give you an example of what team is actually making noise. For example, the Cardinals. The Cardinals are keeping Kyler Murray. They're not too sure about the head coaching move, so they're trying to bring in more talent, or they're trying to figure out who would be a good fit. The Patriots.
Yeah.
The Patriots got rid of Belichick. Seattle got rid of Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is going to be an advisory, but just imagine if we get Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll would be 1,000%. I'll be hands down 100 happy if Pete Carroll became the Commanders head coach, because what you're getting out of Pete Carroll. You're getting fired. You're getting energy. You're getting coaching.
Yeah.
You're getting excitement. You're getting people in the stands. That's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So you know what you're getting. But if you get a person like Belichick, you know what you're getting. You're getting uncompleted answers. You're getting no energy. You're getting dumb remarks, and you're just wishing that he goes to sleep sometime with his medication. But you're not getting any type of energy from Belichick. Now, here's the funny thing that I heard from one Cowboy fan, and I'm sorry, Lou, but I had to talk about your team.
Okay.
One Cowboy fan said, "Hey, listen, we should have let go of Mike McCarthy and got Belichick." I said, "Listen, if you think Belichick is going to come into this organization and fired up based off what he sees on the field right now, he would fight. He would have kept Dak. He would have let go of Tony Pollard. He would have let go of CeeDee Lamb. He would have let go of CeeDee Lamb and bring in some really unknown no names, right? And they won't have no production for at least 3 years. On their 4th year, you'll start to see some progress. So if you ready to sacrifice 3 years of being in the NFL, knowing that your head coach is rebuilding this team and then win one playoff game, you just sacrificed 3 years in front of you. That's the cautionary thing, because you want to win right now. You don't want to wait 3 years later. If you okay with that, fine, do so. That's why I didn't want him here, because if he comes here and he changed the culture here, it takes 3 years to 4 years to actually see a result of how much the playbook is, what's happening to the players. Are they actually learning? Who you have to put in place, the replacement. Think about what Mac Shanahan did with RG3, right? And he got Albert, what's his name? Alfred Morris, right? So he had to go through the playoffs to get the players that he could see that they're actually winning. Now, you don't see that with Mike McCarthy. You just see wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. I'm just saying. So I'm gonna pose this question to the panel in a little bit. I'm going to look at the score of the Texans. If anybody could just look at the score from the Texans and the Ravens and tell me who's winning, because
17-10 Ravens.
Ravens? Yeah, that's what I figured.
Ravens 17-10.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Baltimore is good at home. Baltimore is excellent.
Teaming their receivers.
Yeah, that's the nature of the Ravens. When they want to win, they want to win.
Yeah, I know.
So I think right now we can honestly say the Ravens won this one, and they're gonna go on to the AFCs to battle either, Bills or Chiefs, and that's gonna be a really good game.
What is it with the Bills? I mean, it's like I'm just not. No.
What? No. What's your problem with the Bills? Let's see if we can answer that.
I'm sorry, I don't like the Bills. I'm just not.
Obviously.
Especially for a championship football team.
Well, here's the thing about the Bills.
I hope they get stomped.
Here's my thing about the Bills. The Bills are just like the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams play a 3-4 type of defense, just like the Bills. Don't go, Lou. I know you don't like them, but it's the truth. Here's why. The 3-4 and how they play a fire-based defense. This fire-based defense allows them to be more flexible. In a standard basic 3-4, you're only capable of running a certain amount, dimes, quarters, and what is that? Zone, I guess. Zone. So if you're running a zone in a basic 3-4, you're allowing teams to dissect it, because now you're learning each player by heart, like the 4 linebackers and the 3 DTs. So when you're doing your dissecting of each player, and this is what coaches actually should do, and there's other teams who does this on a regular, and they learn everything about you. They learn your weakness first. And then when you take a play out of the playbook to learn their weakness, then you go to their strengths. It's all about taking away the advantage of your defense. So in a basic 3-4, you run those basic things and you get crushed because people can learn your strength and weakness very closely. In a fire defense,
Yeah.
you cannot learn every player and what they do. You only learn one because everybody's coming at you at once. So in a fire defense, the safety comes out off of from the backyard, then you know it's a blitz. So now you got to change play. So now what you do is you take a picture of that. So then the safety plays off, then you got to take a picture of that. Then you go over here to the strong safety and you see he's double teaming your wide receiver or going after your tight end. And so you don't play the tight end, you play the ball. So if the ball placement is in the gut, then you can't touch that tight end. But if he's in the air, you can swat the ball out the air. 3-4 allows you to play every position where the ball placement is. And that's the great thing about the fire base. But in the 4-3, the 4-3 is meant for blocking the running game. Mainly blocking the running game. You just got to have a really good strong safety and a really good safety. And then you got to have a really strong shutdown corners that can't get beat. That is the strength of the 4-3 and the 3-4. Now, which one do I prefer? I'd rather play the 4-3 because it gives so much leverage in the nickel. Now, nickel is like 5 DBs. Now, 5 DBs is good because you get to play the wide receivers more in a 4 wide receiver set with the running back in the backfield. Now you get to play man to man with the help over your safety and your strong safety. But see, the problem is when you dictate where the your defense is going to go, you give the advantage to the quarterback. That's why you run a linebacker blitz or a corner blitz or have a DT sack. The idea is to make the offense feel uncomfortable so they won't read that of your defense. But if you're stopping and you're pausing for that wide receiver or that tight end to go behind you so the quarterback can throw a first down, then you failed in your mission because you're trying to make sure that that offensive coordinator doesn't run the same play again. And that's where we are. That's where we are in offensive and battle between this and that, right? So that's what the Bills are running, a fire base for 3-4 that actually it's basically what the Ravens are running. They've been running it for years and they've been improving it for years. You see how good they are.
They were not running that in the first half.
No, not in the first half because they wanted to see how the Texans are going to play them. See, it's all about chess moves.
Texans are not used to the zone, and that's what they were doing. But,
well, zone is. How can I say this? I think more and more. I think what the defensive head coach is doing, he's using a type of scheme that's 2-man under. Now that's what team? I think it was the Lions. The Lions are using a 2-man under, and I think that's what the Ravens are doing now. So 2-man under actually allows you to see where the quarterback is going to throw, and then you step up under 5 yards to see if you can pick it off or swat the ball away. While what, Miriam? Who's that?
Sorry, that was
You good? You have a question? You have a question? Okay, I'm sorry. Did anybody have a question?
No question.
Okay.
nah.
All right. I'm sorry. But like I was saying, in a 2-man under, it allows you to go under the 5 yards to pick and get a pick six or swat the ball away or give your corner a help of double teaming the primary wide receiver. But see, here's the good thing about this. The Bills, they have now perfected it with great players who can actually cover in a 4-3 as well as man to man. Now, the only thing I was talking to a Bills fan, and his main concern was that Josh Allen throws a late inverted pick late in the game. I said, listen, if he's on rhythm, and he's running for a first down, and you're taking away throwing deep, because when you throw deep is when the defense is pressuring your line, so that way you can't run the football. Then you're dropping back 5 steps to throw every single down. Yes, he's going to throw an INT, because what you're doing is you're studying the quarterback and how he throws, and see if you can throw you into a double team. If he's running the football, he's throwing to his wide receivers and tight ends, and he's spreading the ball around, guess what? Bills win. I told him just like that. He was like, what about Hamlin? At first, I didn't know what he was talking about. Then I'm like, wait a minute, is that the guy with the cardiac arrest that everybody saw on the national TV? He was like, yeah, that's the guy. I said, okay, I understand. He's day to day. They're not going to use him right now, but they're going to, ration his minutes, so that way they'll see what's going. So they're very cautious with the guy. Then I told him about Dalvin Cook. Now, Dalvin Cook was a running back for the Jets, and they let this man go because they were in the running for the playoffs. But you only signed him for a year. You should have used him so that way you can get into the playoffs. Y'all would have had it been in the playoffs, but you let him go to the Ravens. Now the Ravens have him, and they can't play him. They can't play him now, but they'll play him in the next game against, the Chiefs. So he's going to play then. So this is why I love football, and not only that, what he said to me makes me reaffirm what everybody's been telling me up and down, that I should get a football team and run it myself. He literally said, "You'll be a great head coach. I have no doubt in my mind you know what you're talking about. You should be a head coach." I said, if I could, I would.
You that.
Yeah, I know you did. You did tell me that, man. I appreciate that. But I said, if I doing that, you coming with me, Yeah, because I already know exactly what you're going to say, and I can't say it on air, but I know exactly what you're going to say to the players, and I know either they're going to have a look on their face like, did she actually said that to me? I said, don't mess with Coach. She'll say everything in the world to you. You better listen to her, follow her. Yeah, you know it. She'll give everybody the boot. She probably even give the water boy the boot. You're not getting the quality H2O. Get out of here, and give him the boot right in the forehead. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be sideways and rotate.
You probably tell the water boy to go to 7-Eleven and get some Gatorade.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yo, I can actually see that.
Let's go.
So, yeah, that's Miriam right there. She's a Ravens fan. She likes to mock. So
I like both these teams, actually.
But the great thing about this is that you allow yourself to understand the X's and the O's of both teams. So I believe that the Ravens and Bills are going to be the most. I don't know. Yeah, I think the Ravens and Bills are going to be more of a good game, because you got two teams that run the same type of defense, and they both have explosive.
It's going to be the Ravens, the Bills. I'm going for the Ravens.
You know what? Actually.
You know what? They have not won since 2001. I'm like, it's time.
I think honestly, both of them have a scrambling quarterback. Both of them have a running back. Both of them have great tight ends. Both teams have great defenses. I think it's going to be a really good close game. It's going to
be a good game.
It's going to go into overtime. I got both teams going 10 10 points each.
Yeah, I see it too.
Yeah, see, even Lou understands. I think it's going to go down to a kicker.
Game.
It's going to be a kicking game, 100%. I think that's what we're going to see in this next playoff game. That everybody's going to be glued to their seats, especially the Ravens fans and the Bills fans. They're going to clench every bit of their seat, and either they're going to be drinking heavily because this game is going to be so intense.
Yes.
You're not kidding.
So, with that being said, let's go to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is the front runner for the Commanders. Now, I want to get everybody's opinion on Ben Johnson. Do you know who Ben Johnson is?
Yes.
Okay. So, right now, Ben Johnson, well, okay, for those who don't know, Ben Johnson is the OC for 2 years for the Lions. Now, I'm not 100% sold on Ben Johnson, and this is why. He's been a offensive coordinator for 2 years. I'm not saying he's not capable of running an offense or a team. I'm saying that we don't know enough of how he's going to function in the NFL atmosphere, especially our atmosphere. And you know how we are.
Yeah.
We want the strong X and O's. We want the strong defense of 4-3. We want to punish our opponents to let them know when you come to our place, it's going to be one heck of a ride. You know?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Is he going to bring that
That's
mentality? Is he going to bring that mentality like a Taylor Heineke? Is he going to have a Taylor Heineke defensive coordinator? That's what we need. We need the energy.
Definitely.
And without the energy, we're just looking like Dallas. Sorry, Lou, but it's but that's what I'm saying. That's where I need to see more of Ben Johnson giving his 1,000% undying effort. I'm going to make sure I go to every fan and let them know that this is the guy we got. I want to make sure that we go to the NFL draft. And you want to say, I want this player because he does exactly what I told the fans we were going to do. I even called Ashburn, believe it or not, some years back.
Wow.
I called Ashburn when Ron Rivera was first, hired. I spoke with the secretary one time before. She told me that I couldn't talk to Daniel Snyder because I want to talk to Daniel Snyder. He said he's not in right now. Do you want to call back? So I said, yeah, I'll call back. I called back. And she was like, well, at this time, Daniel Snyder is not going to be available at this time. Do you have an appointment? I'm like, no, but I would like to talk to him because I believe I have some information that would probably help us out. She said, okay, fine. All right. So I hung up, never called me. Never called me one time before. I stopped calling because of the fact that they was not going to allow me to talk to Daniel Snyder. But there's no problem. I understand he's a figure of a great organization. I know he was going to not talk to me. But I got a reassurance to talk to the head coach. Didn't get in contact with the head coach at the time. I think it was Mike Shanahan I was trying to get in contact with. I actually called one time before, and this is a long ways back when I was not a host of the DMV Sports Show. DMV Sports Show was not even created. I spoke with North Turner. I was not happy with North Turner. I was disappointed with North Turner and the defensive coordinator for the former team known as the Redskins. I was not happy with what happened. But the following year, I had a hand in Brad Johnson coming to us. I had a hand of Hurst being a running back for us. And then I had a hand in telling them about Stephen Davis. So I was happy about that. I didn't play a heavy role in it, but they understood where they wanted to go. They didn't listen to anything I said, but they heard me say that. So I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Fast forward to this year. I think I'm going to call again and speak to Joe Harris. And I think
Oh, good luck on that.
hey, I can dream. I can dream. I can dream. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, Maryland.
You know what I'm saying, don't you?
Leave me alone. I'm gonna call anyway.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Okay, I don't know who that was. But that was what the hell? Excuse my language. Sorry about that. I'm going to sanction myself from saying that. But but I think it's time for us to go in a direction where everybody and the fans can actually have some reassurance, because right now the NFC East is wide open. Dallas was not the strongest team this year.
Nope.
Eagles was not the Eagles were the strongest team in the division.
Dallas did have a pretty good team.
Well, no, Dallas had talent. Listen, Dallas had talent, but they just couldn't pull it together. Yeah, and and they didn't even use their running back 100% of the time. And this man runs for 1,000 yards 2 years ago. He could at least have had 10 touchdowns. How can you not give the ball to your running back who just you reduce? How can you reduce somebody's reps like that? This man is 1,000 yards plus, and then you're telling him, "Hey, listen, we're only going to use only 7% of the time, so be ready." So that's not in my contract. No.
That's right.
I get $2 million if I go over 1,000 yards, and you're not going to give me the $2 million. What? No, you give me the $2 million now, then we could talk about 7%. You're damaging these players' incentives when they sign a contract. So now you have to go restructure their contract.
That's right. That is exactly right.
So you restructure their contract and tell them, hey, listen, just because you didn't go over 1,000, we're going to give you we're going to give you the 1.75 mil. And next year, we'll just give you the next mil, and we'll just call it even. That's bad math right there. So what you're doing is you're breaking on half of what he owed, give him a fraction on a fraction. How can you live off of 175 mil? That's
so, in other words, they're putting down, and they want him to earn that last year.
Exactly. They want him to earn it next year when he's supposed to earn it this year. So now Mike McCarthy is the reason why they shortened his reps. He's the reason why they used him and not the other running back. So now what you're doing is you're damaging his living wages, so that way you can benefit Dak and the offense. I digress. But let's go ahead and go. We got I love this conversation we're having. We got about 8 minutes left. But we're gonna go ahead and go further. We're gonna go to the Washington Commanders. Not Washington Commanders, Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards lose. They lose to the Knicks. They lose to everybody else. She's jamming right now. She's having a good time. All right, so so we go to the Wizards, and the Wizards lose again. They're like 6-34, and they're going against the Hawks again. So the Hawks are going to beat them hands down. They beat the Hawks one time before, but I'm pretty sure
they play San Antonio tonight, and both of them got 7 and 25 records.
Well,
they both of them got the same record.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I got my money on the Spurs because you got Denny, Adenijad, and you got Bilal. These two individuals are supposed to be a project waiting to happen. They haven't really shown anything. Yes, he scored 20 combined 20 points against the Knicks, but that doesn't translate into wins. You're talking about individual stats. Individual stats doesn't produce a W where your team needs the most so you can achieve greatness. You got a youngster who's 19 who can shoot threes, okay, who can shoot twos, okay, who can block shots, okay, but has he done that consistently? No. Denny, Has he shot threes? Yes. Has he gone in the paint? Yes. Has he passed the ball off? Yes. Has he done an assist? Yes. Has that translated into a win? Not so much. So what are we celebrating? Are we celebrating individual stats, or are we selling team stats? Because team stats, we're horrible.
You know what?
Come on.
Lady Hokies, there is one lady on there that can score over 30 or over.
Thank you. And that's what we need. We need a player that scores over 30 points.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like in awe of this. You know, I'm like, wow.
and see, that's the thought process of where we are mentally in basketball. If you look at a player who just came on, here's a stat. There's a player in an NBA draft that plays 20 points, that scored 20 points, that scored 32 points, scored 15 points. Who would you rather have? Somebody who scored 15 and a half points versus somebody who scored 25. Who would you want that to be on your team? 25. Because the 25 player who scores 25 in the game can actually go 35 in the game, and then you can see the team move up. That's what's happening with the Spurs. The Spurs went and got somebody from the French league, folks, who scores over 25 points.
Yeah.
And look who we got. We got his teammate who's 19 who can't score over 25. And we're calling it the victory. Why?
So victory.
What exactly? Thanks, Lou. So why are we celebrating this? Why are we celebrating mediocrity as a staple point of, aha, we found somebody who could score below 20?
Yeah, did they trade a couple of basketball players?
Yes, they did. They did, and they went in, and they traded with the the other worst team, Detroit Pistons. Why would you trade another player from the? I mean, this guy from the Pistons is good, but why would you trade from a lower team who's actually worse than you? Why would you do that? That's crazy. Yeah. That's me. That's like me going to the XFL from a worse team and asking me, listen, can I borrow that quarterback real quick? Yeah, let me borrow him real quick. And, and then you go ahead with this player. Here, take this player. Well, come on. They're both going to be doing horrible. And then you surprise what happens when you trade for that player. Oh, wow, he's really bad. I did a really horrible thing. It's like basketball. When you're playing street basketball, you play somebody who hits the backboard every single time. We'll take the guy who hits the backboard. You had a whole lineup of great players, and you picked the dude that hits the backboard. Why? You're not trying to win? What's going on? Let me know. So with that being said, we got 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and do 7-3 ratio.
So with that being said, we got 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and do 7-3 ratio.
Yeah, thank you, Maryland.
Yeah. Which game?
we're gonna do the Texans. We're gonna do the Texans, and then we're gonna go with the Green Bay Packers and 49ers. In this game, who's gonna win? Ravens?
I was hoping. I think the Ravens are gonna win.
What's the score?
If CJ Ravens calmed down, I think they would have, I think that that would have been the underdog, But I think the Ravens are going to get it unless they light a fire. Where?
That right there they have shown to do something in the fourth quarter that changes their fate. Let's go with Lou. Lou, what did you think about this game?
Ravens.
All right, what's the score?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what's gonna end up as or now.
Well, right now.
Right now, Ravens 24-10.
Okay, 24-10. Okay, Big Steve.
It's going to be Ravens 31-10.
Oh, an onslaught.
Wow.
Okay, I like that. Big Steve went bold today. He went bold. He didn't care. He was like, listen, I'm going to give my answer, and I'm going to stick with it. Maryland.
I heard that.
Miriam. What do you think the score is going to be? Okay, you're eating. You're eating. Okay, no worries. Go ahead and eat. All right, I got my score. I got 33-31 Ravens. Ravens go onslaught with the kicker. And we got one more minute. Let's go around the horn. Who you think is going to win? Just tell me who's going to win. 49ers?
17 Ravens.
Okay. Who you think is going to – okay. So who you think is going to win? 49ers, Green Bay. I got 49ers. Who you got? Maryland, go.
Packers.
All right. Lou.
49ers.
All right. Big Steve.
49ers.
49ers. Miriam. Green Bay, 49ers. Who you got? Okay. 40.
She's stuck on them.
I mean, she's stuck on the Ravens. Never mind. Ravens all the way. All right. So, thank you to everybody who came in. Thanks to Big Steve, Miriam, Coach, Louis Tenor, the host of the Louis Tenor Show, Enhanced Sports Show. Big Steve, Miriam, thank you for all coming in on this night. And thanks to you, Star. Everybody have a great weekend. You're human first, everything second. And go conquer your dreams because you're conquerors by definition. Stay safe, be well, eat well, sleep well, and know that next Saturday we're going to do it all again. Same bat time, same bat channel, same bat station. And same.
Stay warm.
And stay warm, absolutely, because that's another snowstorm hitting 49ers. That's good.
Oh, please don't say
No,
that.
it is. It's only be on a Thursday.
Oh, no.
So stay warm, everybody. It's gonna be a doozy. So be safe, eat well, sleep well, and you know what? We'll be back next Saturday.
God bless y'all.
God bless y'all.
God bless y'all.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Let's go.
And thanks to you for coming in and on the DMV Sports Show and blessing me with your visit. So come back next Saturday. From Scotland. Wow. Well, hello. So be safe, be well, and I'll see you next Saturday. I got somebody came in for Scotland. All right. Peace.